Awera hontu, abhyapacha hontu, anika hontu, suki athanam pariharantu, dukkha muchantu, yada lada sampatito, mavigachantu, Kamasaka. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so we will now go for the sutta already. For those who want, it's actually good to print out, because rather than look at the screen all the time, which actually tiring for your eyes. So as we read along, and some of the students also help me to read. Now, this is under Agachala International College. For those who are taking the certificate, will be under Agachala International College. It's still online level. Okay, yeah. And my new society called Aga Sandi Buddhist. Sandi Buddhist Society now is in registration. We're going to register soon. Now we have few topics here. I like to talk about the Yuganaddha Sutta, and also okay, there is a 4 type here. What is 4 type here? Okay, 4 types of practice, yes. Okay. And then there are 7 factors of enlightenment. Now, a lot of people are confused. They don't know whether should we practice samatha first or vipassana first. Or let's say if you practice anapanasati, is it considered as samatha? Is it considered vipassana? So how do we define, right? So this sutta actually is very good. If you click this link, you can straight away go to the translation by Bante Sujato, right? And that is if you want to look at the Pali. So I've been now sharing you all the modern Tipitaka, because Tipitaka actually now we can really find on internet already. So it's very convenient compared to last time we had to find a book and we had to photostat. Okay, so you can click it, and I already mentioned to those in attend the Pali course. So if you want to see the Pali, you just click the view here. Then you can put the Pali side by side. When you put side by side, you will be like this, side by side. One Pali English, okay? And if you want to click here, you want to go line by line, then you will see, okay, line by line. So the Pali and English line by line, right? So this is a very convenient way of learning. Now, this sutta is mentioned as a Yuganaddha, right? So we go back to the note just now. So you can click the link for you to study. That is for those who are very Pali enthusiastic or really want to know the original text. It's good to learn from original text. Right. So it's Anguttara Nikaya, which is considered as a relative old text, right? Because some of the text is considered newer version, and this is considered very old text. And in Koi Patipada Vaga. Patipada means practice, Vaga means chapter of practice. This sutta is called Yuganaddha Sutta. Sutta is discourse. Now, Ewa Me Suttam, then Ananda was staying in the Koshita. Koshita is one of the rich men. He offered the monastery to the monk, to the bhikkhu, to the Buddha and the bhikkhus. So you can see here, this sutta actually is preached by Ananda to the other monks. Okay, the reverence monks, reverence daily life. Then the Ananda said like this. Right, whoever amongst monks or bhikkhus or whoever they declare in my presence, right, they should do it in one in between. Okay, now if you look at it, then it's strange, no? Why we say if Ananda, then why the text is like this? Okay, but the text should be say it should not be declared in front of Ananda. It should be declared in front of the Buddha. That's why when I look at it, it's a strange text. But anyway, we look at the main content here. Maybe they also declare, because sometimes normally when people they had the attainment, they go in front of the Buddha and declare the attainment to the Buddha. Okay, but this sutta it looked like they declare to Venerable Ananda. Okay, let's see what's the key point here. So here is Samatha Pubangama Vipassana. This is the first method. This means that is the Samatha first. Here translated as serenity. Vipassana later, discernment. So this is the first way. So if they practice Samatha first, Vipassana later, so they also can get a Mago. Mago means the path. So they develop it. So normally how they practice is like this. The Pali is actually very interesting. Okay, the path, this path can be a noble effort path, right? So they need to cultivate it. They need to develop it. They need to make much of it. So that's how it normally translates in a Pali. Okay, they cultivate means they here means refer to a starting point. Normally the Pali, if you have three phrase, three words like this, the first one refer to the initial effort, our Sewati. Then Bhavati refer to the subsequent effort. And Bahu Likaroti means they have to repeatedly practice this one. Okay. Then after that, by practicing like this, they will give up the Samyojana. Samyojana, we call it the fetters. Like normally when we say the defilements, largely we use the word like kilesa. Kilesa is a very general word for defilements. Then Samyojana maybe only few of them, 7 like this. Okay, so Samyojana. Kilesa will be about 10. Samyojana about 7. This is called fetters. Another one is Anusaya. Anusaya and fetters is a little bit different. Okay, now fetter can refer to those already come out. Underlying the tendency, Anusaya refer to those not coming out, but has the potential to come out, right? So this refer to those have potential to arise. It's kind of like we call it sleeping, it's like when we have the defilement, like for example now you're not getting angry. Okay, you're not getting angry. I don't think you will get angry at this point, but your anger will come later, right? When you see something or you hear something or something will make you very upset, so you still have the underlying tendencies. That means that there has a potential, whether greed, hatred, delusion. All right. So that means that the Buddha say when we practice the path again, not just to cut out anything that might arise already, or also we need to cut off those have the potential to arise. Means in the future. Okay, in the future. Okay. So this is the first method. Second method is Vipassana Pubangama. So it means that you practice Vipassana first, you practice Samatha later. Now Vipassana refer to the contemplation of seeing in order to see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Samatha is just to calm the mind. So here is Vipassana first, Samatha later. So this is second method, difference from the first one. And after that, okay, now the third one is Samatha and Vipassana, Yuganaddha. So that's why this sutta is called Yuganaddha. Yuganaddha means you develop samatha and vipassana together. Okay, so later we will go through again. So this is we try to follow the body. Okay, so by this the same sentence is appear again, and after that their mind. Another fourth is the mind is seized by restlessness to realize the dhamma. So this dhamma udacha. Okay, all right. So there are 4 methods. Now, why is it like this? Okay, you have you say that the mind is so after that when they are able to let go of this, then the mind will come internally. The ajata means internally. They will steer it, they will settle down, their equity become unite and samadhi. Now people always say, what is samadhi? Samadhi means is described by all these terms. Your mind settle down, not like restless. For example, when your mind is very restless, your mind is actually running around everywhere. So your mind is really settled down on the object. You unite together or object, and that's the meaning of samadhi. Okay. So he make most of it. Okay, right, this one. Now you can see here, according to this text, is they have to declare to Ananda, all right? Because even though Ananda is, Ananda is never be Arahant, not yet Arahant. He only achieved Arahant after the Buddha passed away. But still he considered a very well learned monk. So he are able to preach the Dharma like this, Yeah. Okay, now we go back to the summary. Okay. So the text, I like to refer to the text. Okay, the first text will be Samatha first, Vipassana. All right. So anyway, either you can put Samatha first or Vipassana. So maybe we change the sequence only. The first stage should be, yeah, Samatha Vipassana. Okay, sorry. So it should be the Samatha first, Vipassana later. So we just change it for a while. Okay. So the first one should be Samatha first, Vipassana later. Now, what's the difference between this and this, right? The first one means you need to cultivate samatha, right? Samatha as much as you can, right? Now, vipassana first means you focus more on vipassana rather than samatha. So, in fact, if we say theory, now let's see what is either one way, okay? Either one way, if you want to practice, we call it vipassana first, means as most of us, like me also practicing, we go for direct vipassana. Direct vipassana means we just don't use any samatha as a main basis. So we either use Mahasi method or open awareness method. So we just sit down and we call it, literally we just try to observe like your mind, matter, right? Whatever arise. So we try to see impermanent suffering, non-self. So it's really direct vipassana. So we don't think that no need to build the samatha. But when do you get samatha? Samatha means you get it when at the enlightenment time. Okay. So when you get at the enlightenment time, so because at the moment of enlightenment, okay, so at the moment of enlightenment, so the mind is unites, okay, together. So that's why even though there's no samatha, but samatha happened at the maga time, at the enlightenment time. Okay. So now what kind of but we still need some concentration, right? Now what kind of concentration we need? So the concentration, normally if we are talking about direct vipassana, so the concentration we get, we call it kanika samadhi. We call it sorry, what happened to keyword? Okay, samadhi means a moment to moment concentration. Right? So even though we are practicing vipassana first and samatha later, right? So this is a vipassana first, samatha later. So at the moment of vipassana, there is some concentration, but this kind of concentration is, we call it kanika samadhi, means moment to moment, because that is when you need to practice open awareness, means every moment your mind, whatever you do, your mind do something, your mind listen to something, your body doing what. So you maintain the moment to moment mindfulness. That is why you get moment to moment concentration. Okay, without moment-to-moment mindfulness, it's impossible to get moment-to-moment concentration. Right. Now, this is the first one. If you want to practice Vipassana first and Samatha later. Now, the other way, if you want to practice Samatha first and Vipassana later, this means that you use Samatha as a good foundation to build up concentration and hopefully try to get fourth jhana. Then this change to Vipassana later. So this is the practice like Pa'ao, okay, maybe I think Tengu, they practice the 32 body parts, like this will practice of what? Like Mogo, okay, Mahasi. Yeah, Mogo is the one that doing the we call it the dependent origination. And sometimes like Goenka. Goenka may be also on this one, okay, on Samatha first, Vipassana later. But it also depends on people. As long as the key point is when we practice meditation, the key point is we want to reduce the unwholesome, we want to increase the wholesome. Okay, that is the thing first. So you either practice samatha first, vipassana later, or vipassana first, samatha later, or samatha and vipassana together. Now, what is samatha and vipassana together? It's like somebody they try to get first jhana. So after they get jhana, they must come off from jhana. Then he needs to see the jhana state as impermanent suffering nature. Then again to second jhana. He need to come out again. Then contemplate. Right. So it's like samatha, vipassana. Samatha, vipassana. Samatha, vipassana. Okay. First jhana, here you need to add on withdraw. Okay. You need to withdraw. Right? Withdraw from first jhana. What happened to my keyword today? Right? So he attend the first jhana, come out from it. Go to second jhana. No, before go to second jhana, practice vipassana. Then he go to third jhana, come out from it, he practice the vipassana. So this is called samatha and vipassana together. So this is we call it samatha plus vipassana together. But this together is not the same moment. Okay, it's not the same moment. We call it concurrent, one after another. Okay. All right. So far, any question up to here about the samatha first or vipassana later, or vipassana first, samatha later, or vipassana and samatha together? Any questions so far before I continue? Any question? Okay. All right. Now, so now which method do you all practice? Most of you will either practice this one, or if you go for Pa'ao Center, you practice samatha first to build up to fourth this one. And this one is only I'm not so sure which society or which method they are doing. Okay, but some in last time I attend one center, the teacher actually say you don't need to go fourth jhana because lay people have no time to go fourth jhana. It's better that you attend first jhana and just after that go for vipassana. His method will be something like this. Now next one will be called the uh, this is a overcome restlessness to the Dhamma. So actually this restlessness means we call it the Vipassana Upaklesa. It's a defilements and disturbance practice in Vipassana. There is a 10 klesa. So we will study this later at the 7th purification. All right. So this is a you make a note is at the other class. Okay. So this will be next class, next class, future class. Okay, so this one we will skip it. All right, so far, are you clear about this? Whether samatha first or vipassana first? Either samatha first, vipassana later, or vipassana first or samatha later, or samatha and vipassana later. Okay, no question, we'll proceed. All right. Okay, now, when want to get enlightenment, there are actually 37 factors of enlightenment. So we call it body pakia. Body is enlightenment. Paka is sight, or iya is sight, or means fraction, or here means factors in a way. So Dharma relating to the pakia. We have 7. Okay, there are 7 categories. Now, it seems a lot, but actually most of us are practicing in one way or another. You have 4 foundation of mindfulness. It will be Satipatthana 4. Then we have 4 kind of effort. So we call it this one. All right. 4 kind of effort. I think I mentioned in one of the my class. Yeah, it's the next one. All right, next one. Okay, now 4 kinds of effort. And then after that, there will be 5 spiritual faculties, Indriya, faith, mindfulness, effort, concentration, wisdom, which I mentioned last week. And then the 5 bala. Now remember, faculties, when they become strong by itself, is unshakable. Then it become bala. So how it become bala means when these are developed until unshakable. Unshakable means they are very strong, so they become the bala strength. Normally we have faith or mindfulness, but it can be shaken. Or mindfulness sometimes come and loss, efforts will come and go, and concentration or not sure. But when we really develop this very, very strong, so we become bala. Okay, actually this Indriya and bala is the same thing. Okay, and today we'll talk about the 7 factors enlightenment or Noble Eightfold Path later. I will cover Noble Eightfold Path in a subsequent class. Now, 4 types of effort. So this is the one that this one effort will mention here. The blue color means I mentioned in this class. Okay. Now, you have the Pali called Sama Padana. Now, actually, the word effort, we have a lot of word for effort. Sometimes we have Viriya. Sometimes we have Vayama. Okay. I will take note of this annotation. Okay. So we have Vayama. Another one is this Samapadana. They are actually same also. And this is considered in the Noble Eightfold Path. So the main thing in 4 kind of efforts means, like we will say, the purpose of meditation is to cultivate the wholesome mental states and reduce unwholesome mental states. That's the one. Okay, now effort. In terms of unwholesome, there are 2. All right. So the first and second is to the unwholesome. Anupananam, papakanam, akusalanam, dhammanam, anupadaya vayamo. All right. So you have the effort to prevent the arising of the akusala, unwholesome, that has not arisen yet. It's like you have to, in a way, guide your sense though, right? So when you see something, you will not say, oh, okay, I want to buy it, because every time you see the promotion in the Facebook or in the YouTube, however, there's a lot of things they say you buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, right? So if you are going to follow the impulse, then the money will gone. So you need to prevent like sense of greed or the anger from taking place. So that is not arising yet. Okay, this is talking about akusala that is not arising at all. So we have to prevent it. Now, for those who arisen already come out. So this is the second effort. Pahana. Pahana means abandoning. So abandon, I overcome the unwholesome mental state that has already arisen. So means that the anger, the desire come out already. Okay, come out already. You have to cut it off. You have to abandon it. Okay, so number first and second one, these 2 are all the akusala, right? Unwholesome. So first one is not yet come out, you need to prevent it. Second one is it come out already, you need to abandon it. All right. So the effort is different. That's why this samapadana is considered as right effort. Okay. Normally we say right effort in noble effort. What is right effort? Is this 4 effort. Okay. 4 right effort. Now on the wholesome thing, kusala. Okay. To bring the effort to develop and bring into being wholesome mental state that has not arisen. Means that something not come out yet, wholesome thing, you need to purposely cultivate it. Like let's say your loving kindness is not there yet, you have to cultivate you. Your charitable mind, your generosity is not there yet, not arisen yet, you have to cultivate it. Okay. Now number 4 we call it maintain. No, I think we learned the Pali also. Samosaya. Last time we learned samosaya. Here is asamosaya. Asamosaya means good one. So the effort to maintain, protect, increase, all right, and perfect, right? So you have the titiya is maintain, asamoha is protect, increase biyo bawaya, increase. Yeah, virobana is develop also can. Paripuriya, perfect. All right, it's a paripuriya means perfect. That has arisen. For example, you're already very generous, so you have to maintain it. You're already very with loving kindness, you tend it. So this is why we say when we try to cultivate our parami, 10 parami. Now, sometimes I have received this question. People ask me why do they want to become? Why is it we encourage them, uh, encourage you all lay people to become monks and nuns? Why? It's because we are asking you to cultivate your perfection. Well, the perfection is a perfection of, we call it the nekama, okay? Nekama parami. So this is a perfection of renunciation. So if you have not cultivated this perfection of renunciation, try to cultivate it by just try to join some samaneri program or samanera program, right? So this is try to the effort number 4. Whatever you have good wholesome thing, so try to cultivate it, so it will bring, try to fulfill it. Okay. Okay, now this is the second topic, no? Okay, so this is a 4 effort here. Any question about this 4 effort? Any questions? Okay, I think the title just now, 4 types of effort. Okay, 4 types of effort. I should be told 4 types of effort here. Okay, so Yuganaddha Sutta, 4 types of effort like now. And now we, if no question, we go to 7 factors of enlightenment. Oh, all right, now we already 7. Okay, now we review just now. This is a 37 factors of enlightenment. It's a big group here, so I cannot cover all. So we cover subsequent, they will be also covering the 4 foundation mindfulness in subsequent class. So today just talk about the 4 types of effort. Okay, and our last week I already covered the Indriya and Bala last week. Okay, now I'm going to the 7 factors of awakening, Bojanga. Cannot prove. All right. Okay, now 7 factors of enlightenment. Okay, Boudica, you can read.
Seven factors of enlightenment, Satta Bojjhanga. The term Bojjhanga is composed of body plus anga. Both denotes enlightenment. The root is Bod, to awake. Anga is factor. Buddhaya Sangvatantiti Ko Bhikkhu Dasma Bujangati Vachanti. They lead to enlightenment, monk. This is why they are so called Bujanga. The seven factors are the seven factors of enlightenment. The sutta outlines seven mental factors necessary for awakening. Number one, mindfulness, sati, continuous awareness and presence. Number two, investigation, Dhamma Vichaya, examining the true nature of reality. Number three, energy, Virya, sustained effort and diligence. Number four, joy or zest, Piti, uplifting and enthusiasm and spiritual happiness. Number five, tranquility, Pasati, calmness of body and mind. Number six, concentration, Samadhi, focus and a steady, unified mind. Number seven, equanimity, Upekkha, mental balance and viewing things without attachment or aversion.
Okay, thank you. So Dhamma Vijaya should be, I think, long A also. So these seven factors of enlightenment is important, okay? Yeah, Vijaya. Now, what is Dhamma Vijaya? Now, Dhamma means the teaching of the Buddha. So we sometimes there are different translation, right? Investigation of doctrine and so on. So first, there's mindfulness. Now, when we say the word mindfulness, simply just use the word awareness. Okay. If you don't know what is mindfulness, means aware. Like when we say, if you do open awareness, mindfulness meditation, at every moment you're aware of your mind and body. Okay, that's very simple. So that's mean that don't lost in thoughts. If you walk, you know you walk. If you sit, you know you sit. If you are standing, you know you're standing. Now, second one, we call it Dhamma Vijaya. Now, this Dhamma, sometimes it's also depend on how we translate, because the word Dhamma is difficult to translate. It's one of the, I would say, difficult. Why? Because there are various translations. For example, we look at the Pali Text Society, the word Dhamma, you can see it gives so many explanations, right? So many explanations just for the word Dhamma only. Okay. Sometimes Dhamma means teaching. So roughly the word Dhamma, you can translate, let's say, normally you can translate in a way, like we call it Buddha's teaching. Sometimes Dhamma we also can translate as like we call it phenomenon, okay? Sometimes we can just translate as thing. Sometimes we can translate as maybe other things. There are many ways to translate. All right, but what according to Sati? For example, you already know Sati. Sati means you're aware of the mind and body. So after aware, you need to examine what you really aware just now. The object of your awareness just now is your mind and body. So now you try to go deeper. All right, Dhamma Vijaya is really go deeper into the true nature of things, reality. So after that, you need to have effort. All right. Because even though you have awareness, you might have some knowing there, but you still need to maintain the effort. So after you maintain effort, there will be some joy. There will be some tranquility, calmness. There will be some unified concentration. And after that, you have the mental balance, equanimity. Now, when do we use the bojjhanga? Okay, we can use it for well-being. Well-being means a well-being of us, okay, and others. Not to say bojjhanga, people thought that, oh, you only chant the bojjhanga sutta when you are getting sick. No, bojjhanga sutta or any sutta, you can chant anytime, okay? Because chanting is good for us. So even these seven bojjhanga, not to say you must sit on it. Before you sit, you also can chant. So you can use it for well-being. And for sick person, normally when people go to hospital, you want to chant. Now, what is the right sutta? For example, there are many sutta. For example, like we say, just a side note here. For example, let's say if you go to blessing, okay, for the house, blessing of house, you can chant like Mangala Sutta or the Karaniya Metta Sutta, okay, Metta Sutta, right, or Ratana Sutta, okay. So different place have different chanting, or Ratana Sutta also can. Right, sick person you will chant this Bojjhanga Sutta. That is why we have in Theravada ways we have the 11 Parita chanting. Okay, so this sutta is suitable. Now, Bojjhanga is a well-known as a discourse for sick people. So it preached for many occasions, like the Buddha preached to Moggallana, because even though Moggallana and Mahakasava, they all became Arahant. But after they listened to Bojjhanga, then the feeling of pain or become subdued, right? And then Chunda recite to Buddha. Buddha also fell sick, you know. So Buddha is just like Buddha has a human body. If Buddha have human body, the human body also subject to sickness. That's why the Buddha also falls sick. And that's a difference between we call it the founder or religion in Buddhism. The founder religion, there is a Buddha. We can see him as a person with having the body, suffer for diarrhea. We can see before he passed away at the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, he walked very fast, suffered the diarrhea and so on. The Buddha also, the body also subject to sickness. Okay, now this sutta, just because since we are talking about 7 factors enlightenment, is good to understand this sutta. So this sutta is talking about the qualities, right? And this is called medicinal spell, okay? Osada. Osada matrum. Okay. Now, when we say sometimes people think what is a chanting? Is it a magical thing, you know? From here it look like quite magic in a way. Because we call it matam. Matam is kind of like when we say even like the in the ancient time people are chanting some spell, magic some spell and so on, right? Yeah, charm, spell, in the incarnation, right? So and like in a when near to at the same time during the India time, they also have some kind of mantra, has some this kind of chanting. Sometimes they call it sacred text, or sometimes they call it magic arts, witchcraft or whatever. Right. So that's a Pali meaning for mantra. But in Buddhism, the mantra is not that you chant it, you be free from problem. Because when the Buddha or when this Sutta was chanted, they have to recall the 7 factors of enlightenment. Okay? Because it itself is the practice of Dhamma. So simply just chant, 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 and then the person listen. Yes, you will get wholesome deeds of listening to the Sutta chanting. And the person who chant get a merit, the person listen to chanting got merits. But if we want it to be very effective, then we have to practice according to this sutta. Okay. Now this sutta say, all right, I just go briefly. Okay, evam madi guno petam aneka guna sangaham osedancha imam matam bojangancha baname he. Bojango sati sanghato damanang vijayo tata viriyam piti pasadi bojangancha tata pare. Sama upeka bojanga satete sama dasina munina sama dakata bawita bahulikata. Samatati Nibbanaya, Samatati Abhinyaya, Nibbanaya, Bodhiya, Etena Sajawachena, Sudite Hondo Sabada. Right now, we first talking about this is a suttas with many good merits, guna, and it is a kind of like medicinal spell. Spell here refer to just chanting here. And here, at first, we recall what is a 7 bojjhanga. We have first one is sati, mindfulness. Dhamma Vijaya, second one. So you can write number 2 here. Viriya, number 3. Piti, 4. Pasadi, 5. then samadhi 6, upekkha 7. Okay, so I calculate this. So this sutta in the beginning, it already give us the listing of seven bojjhanga, and they are preached by the Samadasana. All right, all seer. All seer means the Buddha, because the Buddha see everything. Then Munina means sage. So sage is called Muni in Bali. Okay, well expounded is this Bali word Samadakata, well expounded. So these are Bhavita, Bahulikata. They are well practiced, well cultivated, and well practiced, well developed, amplified. And then the advantage is they lead to abhinya. Abhinya means higher knowledge. You translate wisdom. Nibbana, okay, leads to nibbana. Now here you see, this is what we call blessing here. Okay, this part is blessing. When do we bless people? By saying that by this truth of, by the assertion of truth, may the happiness be yours. Okay, because when we speak the Dhamma, we speak the true things. So by this speaking of truth, so we wish that person be happy. So this is a blessing here. So the earlier part is just an introduction. Okay, and then we come to the story. Eka samin samaye nato mogalanancha kasapam. Gilane dukete deswa bojanga sata desai. Te chatang abinanti tua roga muchinsu tankane. Etena sacha wachena sotite hotu sabada. All right. Now, at one time, the Blessed One saw Venerable Moggallana and Venerable Kassapa. So two venerable, right? Two venerable. So they are sick. So remember, Arahan, even though after Moggallana, after together with the Saiputra become enlightened, and then after Moggallana also become enlightened, Sotapanna, later they practice. Actually, they get enlightened very early. Mahakasava also practice hard and get enlightenment fast. But even as Arahan, they still have sickness, Sometimes people have some misunderstood feeling that they thought that when somebody become Arahana, they will not sick. But as long as you have human body, you will have sickness. Even the Buddha also sick, all right? So they are actually gilane dukede, they are sick. So then the Buddha expounded the seven factors of enlightenment, the Blessed One. All right, they already become Arahan already. So what's the purpose of Buddha preach this discourse? Since they already become Arahant, they don't need to practice further. But what they do is they delight, the moment they delight. That's the thing, When we kind of like, how do we change? In a way, it's like changing the mind. Okay, first the body is sick. The body was suffer. The Venerable Moggallana, Kassapa, their body was sick. So when they listen to Buddha expound these seven factors of enlightenment, so they were delighted. So when the delighted, what happened to the mind? Okay, when listen to discourse. Okay, so first the mind, okay, listen to the discourse. Then the mind become has joy, okay, piti. So joy we call piti. Okay, so when the mind has piti, so this is quite mental power. So the mental power will help to overcome the physical problem, physical sickness. Okay, that is important. So at that time, just listen to these seven bojjhanga, their mind already freed from the trouble. So that's why by this expression of truth, may the happiness be yours. Okay, that's the meaning here. So also that means that if the mind has good power, it can overcome the sickness. It's true. Sometimes people in depression, when they are in depression, the mental power is very weak or very negative, then they will even get lots of sickness. So for example, if the mind is very stressful, it produces lots of you all know the science thing. It produces a very negative things in the body, different types of very bad hormones also, and so the body becomes sick. So opposite way, if we are happy, if we are delighted, so it will produce good things, good hormone in the body, good energy and so on. Okay, now we continue story. Ekada Dhamaraja. Dhamaraja means the Buddha. Here, you can see the Buddha has different titles. No? Sometimes the Buddha is called Muni. Sometimes the Buddha is called Bhagawa. Sometimes in the Patisambhita Magga, like we call it the different terms for Buddha. There are a lot. Sometimes the Buddha is called all seer. Sometimes the Buddha is called all knowing, synonym. So the Buddha was sick. So Chunda, who is Chunda? I think he's a younger brother of Sariputra. The Chunda is also one of the attendants to the Buddha. So he was requested to recite that very routine with sadaram, with due respect. Okay. Samadhitwana. So you all can see Pali is a gerund here. Twana, okay, having delighted. So the Buddha rose up from the sickness. I think one of the Pali class we will study this Bojjhanga. We did study in the previous class before. So anyway, there's a lot of past tense here. So then here when Buddha listened to teaching, he was sick. But after that, when listened to Venerable Chunda, the Buddha was happy in the mind and arose from the sickness. Okay. These are finished already. So Pahina Decha Abada Tinanampi Mahesinam. Meta Hata Tinanampi Mahesinam Magahata Krisawa. Patanupati Damatam Etena Sajawachina. So today Hondo Sabada. Right. So just like the defilements annihilated by path consciousness. Path consciousness means Maga. Can arise and no more. In a manner, this ailment will eradicate from the three sages. By this aspiration of truth, may the happiness be ever yours. Okay, so three sages means Moggallana, Mahakassapa, and Buddha. Right. So by recalling the Bojjhanga, even somebody can practice the body be well and happy. Now, here means because they all are arahant, so they will not have any defilement. So their path consciousness, which is Magga, eradicate all the defilements. That is why I'm trying to say here. So by speaking of truth and this one. Okay. Now this is another sutta. So this sutta is called Kassapa Bojjhanga Sutta. Okay, now we will invite Brother Tan Kok Chin. Can you read out? Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thus I heard at one time the Buddha was living in Rajagaha at Veluvana in the squirrels' feeding ground. At that time, the Venerable Maha Kassapa, who was living in Pihali cave, was sick, stricken with a severe illness. Then the Buddha, rising from his solitude at eventide, visited the Venerable Maha Kassapa, took his seat and spoke to the Venerable Maha Kassapa. Well, Kassapa, how is it with you? Are you bearing up? Are you enduring? Do your pains lessen or increase? Are there signs of your pains lessening and not increasing? No, Lord, I am not bearing up. I am not enduring. The pain is very great. There is a sign not of the pains lessening, but of their increasing. Kassapa, these 7 factors of enlightenment are well expounded by me. cultivated and much developed by me. And when cultivated and much developed, they conduce to full realization, full wisdom, to nibbana. What are the seven? Mindfulness, this is, O Kassapa, is well expounded by me, cultivated and much developed by me. And when developed and much developed, it conduces to full realization, full wisdom, to nibbana. Dhamma, vichara, effort, joy, tranquility, concentration, equanimity. These seven factors of enlightenment, very Kassapa, are well expounded by me, cultivated and much developed by me. And when cultivated and much developed, they conduce to full realization, perfect wisdom, to nibbana. Verily, Blessed One, they are factors of enlightenment. Verily, O welcome one, they are factors of enlightenment, uttered Mahakassapa. Thus spoke the Buddha, and the Venerable Mahakassapa, rejoicing, welcomed the outerness of the worthy one. And the Venerable Mahakassapa rose from that illness. There and then the ailment of the Venerable Mahakassapa vanished.
Okay. So in Theravada Buddhist tradition, this sutta is often chanted as a parita, protective chant, to aid those who are physically ill. The core philosophy behind the practice is a profound impact on the mind, on the body. Okay. Reciting, reflecting on these factors helps to create a mental atmosphere conducive to hearing and cessation suffering. So because we all know the mind. So when the mind is happy, body become well. So if the mind is not happy, then all sorts of sickness can arise and become more strong. Now, how do we listen to Bojjhanga Sutta? So this kind of chanting, yes, you can find in internet. You can just download and listen to the Pali. But actually, when you listen to Pali, you have to understand the Pali meaning, no? Because if you just chant, you don't practice the seven Bojjhanga. Don't practice we call it the seven factors of enlightenment, like mindfulness, Dhamma Vicaya, effort, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. So it's just a chanting. But if you really can practice it, then it's different. Okay, so we read again. Maybe we read some of the next one. Michael? Yes, listen to Bojjhanga Sutta. Yes.
Listening to Bojjhanga Sutta. While listening to Bojjhanga, how can one be cured from disease? One contemplate the meaning of the Dharma. One cultivate and arouse the factor of enlightenment. One by one, through mindfulness, one develops mindfulness, investigation of Dharma and effort. By the power of mindfulness and effort, joy and tranquility, one gets concentration. By full power of concentration, one can see impermanent and thus is equanimous to all bad feelings and sickness in the body. Relationship
Okay,
between.
All right. Okay, now. All right. So we go to the text. Okay, later we will come to this text again. So yes, yeah, we can read again. Yes, Brother Michael, you can read. Yes. Continue. Yeah.
Relationship between factors in the Bojjhanga. One should develop the cause first, not the effect. Cause in Bojjhanga. First cause, mindfulness. Based on the four foundation of mindfulness, body is breathing, four posture, four great element, loathsomeness of body parts, decomposition of dead bodies, clear comprehension on these feelings, mind, and Dharma. How to increase mindfulness? Practice mindfulness at all times. Bring the mind back to the current situation. Focus on present moment. Second cause Dhamma Vichaya. The second enlightenment factor is Dhamma Vichaya, keen investigation of Dhamma. It is a sharp analytical knowledge of understanding the true nature of all constituent things, animate or inanimate, human or divine. It is seeing things as they really are, seeing things in their proper perspective. It is the analysis of all component things into their fundamental elements, right down to their ultimates. How to increase Dhamma Vichaya? Incline the mind to see the truth. Reduce delusion by getting more right view through listening to Dhamma, talks and discussion with teachers. Go beyond the concept, feed understanding four great elements, hardness. See Nama Rupa as separate. Understand and analyze Nama Rupa as five aggregate. Understand three universal characteristics, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, four noble truths. And
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. All right, now here is this part is a detailed explanation about mindfulness. So most of you, of course, you know mindfulness, which is we have to see Bojjhanga. Now Bojjhanga are seven here, seven, okay, seven. Now which one is considered a cause? Which one is considered effect? So in terms of cause, you can say there are three. All right, mindfulness, Dhamma Vijaya, and then the effort. So these three are considered as cause. Now, what is the meaning of cause? Means they are more important than effect. Now, the first cause is, of course, if you want to practice Bojjhanga, you must have mindfulness. Mindfulness is the first cause. So how do you practice mindfulness? For foundation mindfulness, okay? This, I think, we subsequent chapter we explain also. Same here, right? Body breathing, posture. So whether you're sit, walk, standing, you have to be practice mindfulness on your body, right? Or if you are don't want to, or your body is you don't want to focus on BD, like if you have some painful feeling or however, you focus on feeling. Then what kind of mind? Happy mind, unhappy mind, good mind, bad mind, there's a mind. Or Dhamma means six sense space, six sense object. Right? So you have to be practice mindfulness all the time, bring the mind come back again. Right? The keyword is when you practice mindfulness, you cannot let the mind just drift along. You have to bring back to the current situation. That means that be mindful, present occurrence. Now, second one is Dhamma Vijaya. Dhamma Vijaya, in fact, we sometimes there are different translation, very different translation. Sometimes we call it investigation, sometimes we call it consideration or whatever. So it is actually means you already in the mindfulness, you already know the mind and body. So now you go deeper into the mind and body. Try to see what is the true nature of this I, this mind. Okay, true nature. What is true nature? True nature means finally everything will be anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, non-self, right? So to ultimate reality. So this part, if you study Abhidhamma, is very helpful. The moment you study Abhidhamma, you understand about different types of mind and so on. Okay, so this part actually we call it the wisdom part. Wisdom part. Mindfulness is just sati mindfulness. Like we call it the five faculties. Mindfulness is the one of the faculty. Now Dhamma Vijaya is the fifth in the faculties. That is the wisdom. Right? Wisdom. So this part really requires you to have wisdom. Now, how do you get wisdom? You have to incline the mind to see the truth. That means that don't let the mind stay in delusion. You have to listen to more Dhammato and also get to more right view and also try to see more on impermanent suffering non-self. That's very important, no? Even though it sounds very easy, impermanent suffering non-self. Okay, so like you know the meaning of walk. When you walk, yes, we focus on the feet. But actually, what we try to see is not the feet moving. We try to see the 4 great elements, like how you walk. You press down the feet, it feel hot, cold, heavy, hardness, and so on. So go beyond the concept, try to see the 4 great elements, right? Then see Nama Rupa is a separate entity. They are not the same. They are separate entity. Mind is mind. Body is body. So when you do walking or sitting, you only see these two, my body, my body. So sometimes it's possible, go deeper to find aggregates. All right. Just a my body is not enough. You have to go deeper to find aggregates. So this is a different way of trying to see Dhamma Vijaya. Now we see how vulnerable Venerable Sariputra, after listening to the teaching of Asaji. Now, who is Asaji? Asaji was among the 5 bhikkhus, Panchavaggiya, one of the, I think should be the youngest one, yeah, Venerable Asaji. So the Sariputra, when he was as ascetic, he was looking for the truth together with Moggallana. So Moggallana, then they separate. So they look for different teachers. Then they actually at that time they are under one of the teachers, Sanjaya. But then the Sariputra, he saw Asaji from very far. Then he was impressed by his behavior and asked him for the teaching. So Asaji, he just shared very brief teaching. Okay, now the teaching is so brief. But by this teaching, the vulnerable at the time Sariputra not yet become vulnerable yet. So he became this first stage of enlightenment. Ye Dhamma hetu bhabawa. Tesam hetum tatagato aha. Tesam cha yo nirodo ewamadi mahasamano. Very short statement. It's saying that the Sariputra, his mind is so sharp. So at the half of this one verse, half of this verse, just listen like that, he become enlightened. First stage of the listen of this one. Because the meaning is all the courses have been taught by Tathagata. Only by this meaning, he become enlightened. Now, why he become enlightened? Because at that time, a lot of wrong teaching by other sects, most of them deny. I think all of them deny the causes. Some are causeless. They say human just reborn in the world spontaneously. There's some cause like that. Okay, some they say causeless. And some of them have different theory. For example, our life is fixed destiny. So you don't need to change your life. You are born like this, you die like this. Okay. So all these are wrong view. So when Sariputra, he listened to Venerable Asaji, he said the Buddha tell us in the world is operating by cause. All are due to condition like karma and so on. And then te sanchaya nirodo, the cessation of this cause. Evamadi mahasamano. This is the proclaimed by great teacher. Now, this is another term for Buddha. Okay, so Buddha has different term. Mahasamano is a great teacher here. Now, the meaning is, from here we get the essence of Dhamma, What is essence here? Okay, that is why this is under Dhamma Vijaya. Dhamma Vijaya means we need to get the essence of the Dhamma. Now, what is the essence here? Okay, now, then the wanderer Sariputra, after hearing this Dhamma instruction, the dust-free, stainless vision of Dhamma arose. Whatever has the nature of arising, or that has the nature of ceasing. All right, regarding this famous verse, the commentary points out that at the first line regarding the first noble truth, second to arising or suffering, and then third to cessation. Okay. So the first cause, so this one is about first noble truth. And then cessation will be the third noble truth. Okay. So that means that by this one, we already the Venerable Asaji already point out the four noble truths. Okay, point out the four noble truths. Right. Now we for example, what is cause? Cause means the craving. All right. Due to craving, the result of craving is suffering. Okay. And then cessation of craving is nibbana. Okay, the cessation of craving is nibbana. Because in this sentence, in this sutta, the Buddha emphasized on everything arises from cause. Now, in like mentioned just now, like other sectarian or other sects, we call it wrong view, wrong view. Now, what do they preach? Normally, they preach causeless. Normally, they preach spontaneous or automatic rebirth, something like that. Sometimes they preach a fixed destiny. Okay, that is the other sect. Now, Buddha didn't talk about causeless. Buddha thought the world happened is because of cause, and the cause also can cease, right? And because there's a condition for our life, and we don't have fixed destiny, we can change our destiny in Buddhism. All right. So this is the how they are different teaching of other sects. All right, 5 minute discussion before we break for 5 minute break. Anything you want to ask here?
Yes, Saji, I got a question.
Yes.
Just wonder, is this Bojanga teaching? Is it for preaching to the enlightenment one or non-enlightenment one? It's
Oh,
like
okay. That one is because they're sick. So we preach to those sick person. But of course, in the sutta is for the enlightened one. For normal people, because they have not enlightened, but they can this is actually we are talking about this sutta is we are talking about why the sutta was preached to Moggallana and Kassapa, right? So when we chant this one, it is just like recalling the teaching of the Buddha. But actually, the one that really helped us is you have to think about the sati, dhamma, vijaya, virya, piti, pasana. So this is a practice. Okay, this is the practice. So it's remind us to practice sati, dhamma, vijaya, virya, piti, pasadi. All right. Okay, so we have to practice this part only. And then this part, why is it good? Because it lead to nibbana, lead to abhinya, knowledge. So this is the one. Then the rest here is like we one time the Buddha preached to Moggallana and Kassapa. So this is the simile example given here. Okay, example given here.
have they attained the enlightenment state already when they listen to this preaching?
Yes, of
Oh.
course. Yes, of course.
And then
But
how
because
this,
they have the human body, they're still sick. Their body sick.
but their mind is not sick, right?
The mind,
It's
of course, even though they are arahant, but the mind, of course, will be normally they say arahant will not be affected by pain and grief, but they will have bodily feeling. They will have body feeling. So this sutta will help them to arouse the more mental power to subdue the bodily feeling.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we will just break 5 minutes and we continue the part 2. Still not finished yet. Okay. 5 minutes break.